Hi everyone. So yesterday we were measuring boxes and the volume of boxes by putting cubes in them. Maybe you remember that I told you that the cubes that we used were each 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch, 1 inch cubed. I'm wondering now, what if I had not given you the cubes? How do you think you would have figured out, can we figure out the volume of the box without the cubes? Like if I had just said, I gave you a ruler. Is there a way that you could have figured out the volume of this box with only a ruler and no cubes? I want you to think about it. Pause and think about it. Okay, so today we're going to do just that. I'm going to give you boxes, pictures of boxes, that is, where we have the measurement in feet, in inches, in centimeters, and all of these are different units of measurement. I think we know the difference between feet and inches. Centimeters, when you look on a ruler, are a little bit smaller than inches. Millimeters are even smaller than centimeters. We're not going to worry too much about how big feet and centimeters are, but we're going to get a box like this. All right, 4 feet by 5 feet by 3 feet. How can we possibly figure out the volume of a box like this without having our blocks? Well, here's what I'm giving you to help you out. I want us to remember about our base. So we're going to do this together. We know that the base is 4 feet by 5 feet. So let's just draw that here. Let's imagine we've got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's not a very good 4. Let's find a marker that I can use. And if you need to use something bigger to make sure that you can see it, feel free. All right, so I'm going to do 4 feet, 1, 2, 3, 4, by 5 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the size of my box, and I'm going to connect the sides. This is the bottom part of my box. So if I were to lay my box here and we were to put those blocks in it, this is what the blocks would look like. And we can't see them in 3D form, but imagine these are our bottom boxes. Okay, so this is our base layer. How big is our bottom layer or base layer? It's 4 by 5. We know that 4 by 5 is the same as 20. Okay, that's just this layer down here. So let's imagine we've got that layer taken care of. How many layers of 20 are there? How many layers are there like this? There are 3. So let's draw that out. There's 1 layer. Okay. There's 2 layers. And there's 3 layers. We can imagine those layers stacked on top of each other. So imagine this is 20 down here. This is 20 up here. And this is 20 up here. So how many layers of 20 do we have? We have 3 layers of 20. That's our height. So our base times height is 20 times 3. That's easy. 2 times 3 is 6, right? So that's 3, and then we add that 0 at the end, 60. Okay. I want you to pause and I want you to do the next one, and we can unpause and see how we did. So do the next one on your own, independently. Draw out the base and figure out how many layers. You might want to draw those layers and figure out what the height is. Pause and check back in. Okay, so here's what I got. Now, of course, as soon as I was doing this, I realized that our box is what? It is 6 by 7. 6, 7. Here we go. So, what is the area of that box at the very bottom? 6 times 7. We can remember that from our multiplication chart. 6 times 7 equals 42. So our base is 42. Hopefully that's what you got for the base. And then how many layers are there? there's 4 layers. So we're going to imagine that there's 1 layer of 42 on the bottom. Maybe I should do this in marker so we can see it even more clearly. 1 layer of 42 on the bottom, another layer, and that's 4 layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're talking about 42 times 4. All right, there's 4 layers. Okay, so we're talking about 42 times 4. So this is where we need to be using our multiplication. And we don't have this in our multiplication chart. We don't go to 42, but we need to remember how we do the multiplication of 2-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers. Remember that we can do that in 2 different ways. One way is to go over here, and I would like you to copy with me. I'm going to do 42 times 4. This was the way that we were starting to get pretty good at, and I hope you can remember this. 2 times 4 is 8. Up and over. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, so there's our answer, 168. Now, if you need a scratch paper, you can also do your area model. Let me remind you how we do area model. Do I have space here? Let's try. Okay, so our area model is a box like this. Remember our box. And we're breaking up our 42 into 40 and 2. And then we multiply by 4. 40 times 4, 4 times 4 is 16, and that's 160. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, there's our 160 plus 8. And we can add them over here. That's probably a good idea, is to be able to stack them. Remember, if you're going to add them, we have to stack them. 160 plus 8 is 168. Okay, so you can either do the up and over method, or you can remember to pull out your box method. We're going to be doing some pretty high level, or not high level, we're just doing multiplication of 2-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers here, okay? So, let's see, do we get any more that are, no, that's it. That's what we've got. Yep, it's all pretty small numbers. If you finish that, 5th graders, we've got a challenge page. And yes, I expect that you do it. Even no matter what, once you finish that page, I definitely want you to move on to the challenge page. It starts off easy, but then we can see that we've got some harder ones here. And you're going to need to break up those shapes, right? So how would you find, this is fun. I hope that you have fun with this, because you're going to need to break up these shapes and think about what's behind, what's hiding. It's a challenge, and that's what's fun about it. And guess what? It gets even more challenging on the final back page. So I hope you have fun with that, but you are not allowed to do this until you finish those first pages of the packet. All right, good luck, and thank you for being good listeners.